And we are live. Welcome to Vlog Thursday. I already forgot the episode number. Is it really 263 or is it 264? Did I get a typo? Someone check me on this. New studio fixed. I don't know. Let's look real quick. Now I'm confused. Which one is it? No, this would be 264. We're gonna edit in live. We'll show you what happens when Tom gets it wrong, and then we fix it. If we don't fix it now, I'll completely forget. So 264, because last week's was 263. So there we go. Save. And already got 50 people watching this. All right. Should we throw the chat up somewhere? We can always add the chat to the stream so people can say hi. Can make this even a little bigger. Here we go. Figure all this out. I finally got, well, it wasn't too hard to get working. I just had to get OBS camera to work so I can actually use this to switch back and forth and control things a little bit better. So yes, doing it live, fix it live in post. Absolutely. So the comments are coming in, but first I have a couple things. I love the play on words that my staff chooses, but I got some stuff from Moment, and I ordered this before I ordered my Pixel 6 Pro. So this is the Moment case, because I use Moment lenses, and I've been using them for years. So I have like a whole, for each previous phone, all the old cases that went with the Moment. The nice thing is the lenses are interchangeable. I've never done a video on it. There's plenty of videos you can find on the Moment product line, and it feels off to me to do a video on it for my channel. But nonetheless, it's a cool thing. And the laughing I had was when my staff took a picture of the boxes arriving. They're like, Tom, it's the Moment you've been waiting for. Oh, the Moment lenses and a Moment case and a Moment magnet. Moment magnet is particularly cool. So yes, that just is a magnet that holds on my phone, and it holds it on really well. So this is a pretty cool feature. Now, this also goes, and I've seen Travis is in here, and maybe he has even a suggestion of how to deal with this. I'm going to go and zoom it in real quick here by holding it up, because I don't feel like switching to my phone. And I want you to see what that says. These are human detected in driveway cam. So I'm working on and finishing up a video for Synology, and the notifications tell you human detected in driveway. It also has like vehicle detected in driveway. It's got the options, and I working on a video where I'll have all of that covered, but there's a problem. I don't know how to make it tell me that inside of the Synology. It tells me that on the notifications. It tells me that in an email. But when you're doing a search in Synology, I can't find a way for me to search for those particular detections. I mean, you set them up and configure them in Synology, but when you're going through the events viewer in Synology, there does not appear to be at all any way to go through and detect those. So it's kind of been a puzzle how that works. So if anyone knows how that works, awesome. If not, I'm going to leave the part in the video where I say, I don't know how to find it, other than it says it in the notifications on the app, but it does not tell you in the web interface what those notifications are. So I already have the answer from Travis. The answer is correct. So, okay, I'm right. And then the video I have can just be uploaded and published, because I said I don't know how to do it, but if someone does know, leave it in the comments. So that is a weird puzzle with Synology. Why would you have that information, but then not make it available inside of the notifications through the event viewer? I mean, you can do it inside of the app, tells you in the notifications. It just doesn't tell you in the web interface for Synology Surveillance Station. Puzzling. But I go over, in the video, I have a whole tutorial on how to set this up with specifically the Amcrest cameras, what settings you need to change in the Amcrest, what settings you need to change in Synology to make that work. So it's a tutorial essentially that it's uploaded right now. It just takes YouTube a long time to process, and it'll republish as soon as it's done. But I would redo the video if I had an answer to that question other than I'm right. And I didn't want to be right. I wanted someone to have the right answer that told me how to do it, not you're right. But Whatever. That's life. So who wants to take a stab at what was wrong with the camera glitching last week? Someone was right. I don't remember who was right. So, Synology been taking lessons from Google's dev team. They have the data, but you can't see it. Well, you can't see it in the Synology, but you get it on your phone, which is the place I really want it. So I get it at the place I want it. I just can't sort by it. Well, there's a hacky way I found that I didn't do a video on because it's stupid. I found a hacky way to sort on it. You can actually go through and create trigger events based on it, because you can trigger on it and then you can create triggered alert events, and then you can go through the alert events and find all the motion events. So there is a way to search for it. It's just stupid because I shouldn't have to create a trigger. It should show up in the event log. So yes. There we go. Someone nailed it right there. It was a grounding problem. So the weird problem was, yeah, I know I did talk about it. I didn't know if all the same people were here. I did mention it before, but I did a stream because I was celebrating figuring it out. The video quality is also much better now, if you didn't notice. So it's increased the video quality. It is fixed all kinds of problems I didn't know I had, because it turns out when you set up a isolated system and you plug your studio computer into it and it's gone through a line conditioner that isolates it and everything else, and really nice high-end stuff that I got, like reasonably high-end, whatever. But if you plug this camera into a different circuit, it's, yes. Oh yeah, issue between chair and keyboard. That's for sure too. But yeah, it turns out that this camera, despite not having a ground on it, the camera does not have a ground. So it's kind of weird, and it's not setting anywhere to be conductive. Matter of fact, the stand itself has rubber feet on it, and it's setting on cement. So there's not really any conductivity between those things. But nonetheless, the problem definitely is repeatable, which of course is the ideal situation where you can figure out a way to repeat the problem. That way you can truly test as opposed to guess like I was before about whether or not you actually fixed the problem. And then once there, yeah, I see someone ground loop. Yep. So yeah. So lots of fun solving that little problem there. Good news is it's solved. That's what really matters. Then I can focus on the more important things of figuring out all the things I undid, all the settings I changed to make the video not look great. Because someone said, wow, when you did your studio tour, Tom, the video from your phone was better than the video from your studio camera. And I'm like, well, I changed every setting out of mindless aggravation. And I said, it's time to take the time out and delete everything, start over again, and put it all in right. And I finished all of that and got the studio set up. And at the same time, I was already buying a new microphone. So the new microphone is right here. That's installed and set up. Then I said, all right, let's adjust the lights. Let's get all the camera tuned up. And so, yes, that is how it works right now. Let's see. Yeah, picnic problems are fun. For sure. HDMI has a ground connection. I think I didn't look up the HDMI, but we can. We have the internet, so I should say we can look up HDMI. I think though the HDMI spec, and we'll find a picture. Go through an image search. HDMI pinout is actually what I want. Oh, look at these. Let's share this screen. So we'll say share screen. So there is hot plug DDC channel +5. None of these say ground specifically. There's clock. I'm assuming just the outer part of it's part of a ground is clock shield. Hot plug detect. Yeah, 17's ground. So they actually have a dedicated pin for ground as well. All right, that makes sense. I'm assuming I'll go with the assumption that this is, I'm not, is it sharing it? No, hold on. Why did it not share? Share screen, derp, derp, share. There we go. Now we can all be on the same page. I think it's shared. Why did it share now? Oh, I have to add it with the other silliness here. There we go. It's not the shield, it's pin. I know, I just realized everyone's like, hey, I can't see it. Yep. I should look at the demo screen. Yeah, there's a reason some more professional people, and I'm working on this, have a person who manages this forum. So you can just yell, and maybe this is what I'll train my son to do. Be like, yo, Marcus, pull that up on the screen over there. Go Google something for someone. So that's now that I'm doing this at home, I can just have my son come down and set that up for me. But pin 17, that turns out to be the ground. So for those of you wondering, according to this image I found on the internet, and it's on the internet, so it must be true. I think that's how everything works, right? It's on the internet, so it must be true that pin 17 is ground. It doesn't say, I'm assuming that pin 17 is probably also part of the shielding, but I don't know. So, but there's some in-between ones that are shielded pins too. That's part of the twisting error. I never really dug into the HDMI spec. Pretty cool though. Pretty cool that we can do that. We can just Google things and learn stuff instead of guessing at it. That's my childhood was having to guess at everything. Yeah, a producer. That's the word I'm looking for. That's the right one. I'm looking for a producer to produce my show for me. Any experience with Zcam scene? I've looked at those. I think they were not, they looked interesting. I debated about it. I'm a Canon person, so I went with Canon because it's kind of like a familiar territory for me. That's why this is the camera that runs my main studio is a C100 studio camera. I just know I have Canon lenses. I think Zcam had some that supported Canon, but I remember them being out of stock or something. So I'm not particularly familiar with them outside of what I watched on YouTube. So I have an Ethernet cabling question. In-wall conduits are not an option. Would running outdoor rated Cat 6 cable on the outside of the house be viable? Yeah, that should be fine. I mean, conduit is always preferred, but you can run outdoor rated cable, run it on the outside. You may at some years in the future have something that you need to do, like it may crack or something at the UV if it gets too much sun or something like that. But just replace it then, and it usually lasts for a long time. Any other glitches with the studio while you're testing? Not really. Just getting it all right. Tuning it, trying to figure out the best lighting positions and things like that. I think I'm well lit. I've cut down some of the back. Now, this isn't the final form. I'm going to make some, those tiles, some are going to be lifted with LEDs behind them. I'm giving it like a 3D pattern look. So this isn't its final form. There's still more to come on editing the background and putting some objects there. This is just where it's at right now. But glitchy wise, nope, no other real glitch. Just all the details of getting it tuned and the right position for the microphone and the right type of sound deadening and things like that. So I have zero thoughts on Unraid. I don't use it. I don't plan to use it. Unraid's novel. I think it's a great home user thing. I don't have any desire to use it because it doesn't do anything for me that I can't already get done with TrueNAS. So Unraid, it's not a bad product or anything. It's just not something I have any interest in. Between Synology and TrueNAS, they cover, and TrueNAS has core and scale. They cover the full gamut of needs I have. So I don't have any desire to learn another platform. I don't think it's necessarily a bad platform. It's just not for me. And I know it doesn't have the performance that you can get out of TrueNAS. That's a big factor. And a lot of times things I'm doing, I need the performance. Best place to buy networking racks, looking for 12U. Anywhere you can find a deal. I don't really have any easy answers on that one. Ubiquity or MikroTik? Depends on the use case. I like Ubiquity stuff because it's way easier. MikroTik works, but comes with a lot of caveats of a lot of confusing interface stuff. I don't think even steel is actually rodent proof. I'm going to throw that out there. Rodents will eat through whatever. Best plan for, I'm assuming you mean VDev, not VDAV, for 24 drives. I have a whole video on that topic. If you find how to lay out VDevs, I have a video breaking down the why you would do it in a lot of different scenarios. There's not one answer for that, but there are trade-offs that you can have, and that's why I made the video. It's about the different trade-offs. Use cat cable with the support. Yes, if you get a really good cat cable, it'll keep away the rat cable. So it'll keep the rats from the cable if it's a good cat cable. Looks good from a viewer's perspective. Thank you. Yeah, everything is easy to eat through. There's no doubt about that. And you also need cat-resistant cat cables. Yes, cats do things like that. Yeah, ZFS is a huge reason for the popularity of the TrueNAS platform. It's really making ZFS a lot better. So, we started ZFS. Yeah, MikroTik early. MikroTik has a crap load of videos online. I don't know about a crap load, but they have some. I built a Debian ZFS NAS server with 56 usable terabytes. It depends. I prefer TrueNAS because, Linus made a video recently about this. When you roll your own, you're responsible for all of it. It's not necessarily a bad idea. It's just, do you have the skill set to figure out all the settings to make sure it's monitored and set up properly? If you do, great. The problem is I don't know if you do. So that's why you use things like TrueNAS that have all that management built in there to make it easier. Yeah, RAID-Z VDev expansion is ready but needs to be tested. Yes. Ubiquity or Synology for 8 cameras. If you can even find the Ubiquity cameras, a lot of those are on back order. So I will maybe throw a link to the beanbag in the studio. I got to find it. It's called a Big Joe beanbag. That's all I know. And I have no idea where my wife bought it. She bought it also like 3 or 4 years ago. So I can tell you it's called the Big Joe beanbag. That's because there's a big, I can see it from here. It says Big Joe. So that's, yeah. Yep. LTT missed the raid scrub schedule. Sure did. It's in my studio parts list, but it's the AOC AOC 49. I think it's the only one they make, but I have a link to it in my studio video. There's a parts list and it's in that parts list. Is TrueNAS scale stable enough to trust in a production environment? It's in beta right now. The reason it wasn't release candidate, so just edging out of beta. I'm going to go with edging out of beta is not something I'm going to run in production. And I guess it depends on what your version of production is. I'm going to run it in my production because I think it's good enough for, well, I hope. I haven't loaded it. I'm going to swap one of my TrueNAS core systems for TrueNAS scale. So I think it's ready for my version of production, but am I running it at my large customers with over a petabyte of storage each? No, not right now. That's, that's not what I'm, not where I'm selling it or pushing it. So I would do all my testing first. So, I mean, if you want to learn something, MikroTik has a lot of functionality to learn. It starts with what's your goal? Is your goal, I want an easy to set up, inexpensive switching device? Great. There's plenty of ubiquities for that. And if you want something that you have to spend more time learning, then MikroTik works for that. Or getting some used enterprise stuff. You always start with what's your goal before you decide to use on it. So how to reroute traffic from remote site to main site. I don't understand that question. I have forums if you want to diagram it out, so you can put some more information in there. Walmart has the Big Joe beanbag chairs. Cool. I didn't look. They may be on Amazon. I just know it's called the Big Joe beanbag. What do you use to protect cable from plenum space through top plate of metal framed wall? Existing wall does not have conduit pulled. You have to, I mean, you can put things in there, but usually you run a conduit. So when you pull the cable through the metal wall, it doesn't poke a hole. It doesn't scratch the cable like when you cut the hole. So generally speaking, you stick a piece of conduit in there. You can't, they won't let you post links. I don't filter it. It's a feature that YouTube removed. They removed links from comments and links from live streams. Only I can post them on there. Speaking of LTT, have you seen that they use TrueNAS scale and production environment? Really not particularly responsible for what happened to them. They are looking for problems. I think they're looking for learning opportunities. So why not? So a reasonable way to combine two TrueNAS nodes to increase the pool side? No, not at the moment. They are going to be building them with Gluster in the future. I don't know the status of it because I have not tested it, but that's a feature they're going to have with TrueNAS Scale is the ability to use Gluster to tie nodes together. Business channel ETA. Maybe. Hold on. Maybe we'll sneak a peek of something here. Where did it go? I haven't tweeted this out yet. You guys will be the first to see it as soon as I can figure out where it is. Because I done did lost it. Nope, still don't know where it is. Well, I have the graphics for it. People are uploading it. It's just not available yet. Hold on, is it in the channel yet? No, it's not. It's going to end up, I don't know, maybe another week. It's getting close to being done. So can this get pasted somewhere viewable? I don't think this will work. Yeah, that's mounted securely. I don't have any way to share it right now because it's in a private channel that I can't make public for lots of reasons. So the business channel is probably a week out. I can at least say that. Maybe most 1 or 2 weeks. So, but we got graphics and logo. Do you need plenum if there is no HVAC in the ceiling? That is going to depend on the code. It's ultimately up to them. Do you need it? No. Is there some inspector that tells you do? Quite possibly. Is there a good camera surveillance system for TrueNAS or Linux that you would say get cheap Synology and just use NFS for the actual storage? Yeah, I don't know of a good one for TrueNAS. So yeah. Tom lost business. Yes, we'll go with that. Does TP-Link is a true competitor? No, I don't think they're a true competitor. TP-Link's a company that copied UniFi, but I don't know really where they're at. I haven't looked at their product to see if they've tried to advance beyond them. But a lot of people pointed out that TP-Link sometimes doesn't have as long of support as UniFi. They let products go longer. They don't have patches out as soon. So those can be real problems. Really depends on the construction when it comes to the metal framed walls. Is there cross bracing? Maybe. Kind of depends on who built it, how it was built. It's not, there's not like an easy yes, no answer on that. Can you give channel ID? I'll tweet it once the graphics are done. I mean, I don't think I can't switch to it right now because it'll break the YouTube if I switch to that channel right now. Random thought. What's your thought on cable management arms on servers? Do you install them or stay away from them? I'm not hard on those. They're nice, but not always needed. Nope, I have not checked out the Aruba CX gear, just the instant on gear. Yeah, screenshot it. It's harder to do than you think because I have to drop. These are two different computers I'm working on. I use Barrier so I can go between them, but I can't drag that between them where the where things are. Well, maybe I can. Hold on. Actually, there might be another way I can do it. I know how to do this. We're gonna switch. All I can do is share the logo. I don't have the ID handy, but I think if I do this, and then I do that, no, yes, there we go. That's going to be the logo for it. That's as much as I got. So it's a fun play on a bunch of stuff that I'm not a big sports person, but I'm doing this with other people. This isn't just me. So we're putting together business technicalities, and we're just going to have some fun with the whole play on words with business and some sports themes and some stuff like that. So that's how that's going to go. Now, if we switch back to this, hey, there we go. Cool. I did it right. There's a lot going on here because I don't have a producer. Put the chat back on the screen. You ran away from TP-Link years ago. Won't work. Anyone have the fs.com access points? Now, I reached out to them about doing some switches. They're on back order. I didn't talk to them about their access points. So one thing is Patrick from Serve the Home did a video on some of the fs.com stuff. And one of the problems with it was just the menus and everything were not great. They weren't polished. It had a very rough feel to it, which makes me worry a bit when I see a video like that going, how good are these? I don't know. I've had some people say they're really good. Maybe they just don't have the best interpreters to put the menus together. And maybe I'm thinking too much into it. So cool new studio. Thank you. What monitor are you using there? It's in my studio parts list. It's the AOC 49-inch. Sophos also has their own access points. I heard Sophos was getting into some of the access point and switching. Thought that was kind of interesting. I still have the TP-Link IP cams from 10 years ago. They work fine, but firmware updates, nope. That's a big one there too. I'm not clear. I'm not going to say they didn't, but someone had told me, and I didn't check this, but go ahead and look into it. How long was it before they had the Log4j updates ready for the TP-Link software? UniFi had it immediately right away as soon as it was announced. They were on top of it. But was TP-Link on top of it? They run the same Java backend. So yeah, Sophos is probably chasing Fortinet. Probably. And Fortinet's a big company to chase. What's everyone using for access points? Most people here are probably using Ubiquity. Ubiquity is the one company that has been able to deliver them faster. I seen a couple forum posts, and I think I mentioned this last week, where Meraki's got some really long delays on whether or not they can get equipment. And not just Meraki, this is everybody in the market. And some of the UniFi stuff is also really hard to get a hold of. Their supply chain's a real problem still. Did Palo Alto buy the Zixel Nebula? I have no idea. I'm not aware of that. I don't like Zixel at all. Travis likes UniFi. Ricardo, AC Pro. Take care, Dunkel. Good luck on your, hopefully the emergency isn't too serious. Grand stream, all right. Yeah. PO switch is a problem in South Australia trying to get an Edge 24 PoE. It's hard to get them in America, which I think we usually get some of that equipment first. I could be wrong, but it's definitely a problem everywhere getting parts. So can't find Netgates. Yes, that's a common message. People DMing me on Twitter. Hey Tom, they're out of stock at Netgate. You got any? No, I'm not hoarding them. I mean, I'd be more than happy to sell them if I had a bulk of them, but we are really low. I don't even know if we have one in stock of anything besides, I know I have a 6100 one because it's been in my lab for a while, that it's actually being used right now in my lab. So yeah, ordered switches in December. They ain't here yet. You got it. Basement flooded, a low use facility at work. Had to spend 1,500 Nest thermostats for all the building. Probably, yeah. Just have to build your own. A lot of people are starting to resort to that because they can't get the PF senses. I understand. I'm trying to support Netgate, but if they can't supply me the device, at some point, you're right, you'll have to go and build it or something. I don't think I have a G4 Instant. I got one when they first came out. I was lucky to get one, and I went to order more, and they've been out of stock, and I've had it for months. So can CE be converted plus if they... I don't know what they're doing with that right now. I haven't really kept up their blog and see if they've announced anything new. I don't know if you can do the PF Sense CE conversion or not yet. So not sure that there's any way to do that. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Now that's I want to test one of those. The Synology DVA 1622. Can only do two AI tasks, but does it do those AI tasks across all cameras? That's the part I'm not sure. I have not tested any of their DVAs ones. It's on my to-do list is to get one of those and test it out. We do a lot of Synologies. We just haven't done any of the DVA ones. What are your thoughts on recommendations in reverse proxy? I always like HA using PF Sense or skip H, go with Docker. I don't know. I like HA proxy because then everything's in one spot. I grabbed a second G3 last night out of luck. Yeah, all the cameras are hard to get to. Driving a kid over 50 AP is going to be late night. Yeah, that's a lot. 50 to go set up. Yep, everything. So many things are out of stock. So many different things are out of stock, man. There's not much we can do about it. It is what it is. But what else was I going to do? Oh, we can talk about the... I'll answer a few more questions, and if you want, we can talk about surveillance stations some more. Yeah, the Psense, HA proxy, dynamic DNS, Acme search in one spot is a nice system. But if you want to learn setting up traffic or Nginx, go for it. I mean, they're not bad products at all. They're all good. So, I none of them are bad. It's just a matter of how much time you want to spend configuring any of them. I never use Psense with Pi-hole. Not that you can't. I just don't use Pi-hole. I have PF Blocker, and that's fine to me. And someone will probably say, but Pi-hole has more features than PF Blocker, and you'd be correct. So if you need those more features that come with a Pi-hole, then get a Pi-hole. If you are fine with the blocking and the feeds that come with PF Blocker, then use PF Blocker. 24-week lead time for a rack. Yeah. It's a pain. Yeah, you can use Psense and Pi-hole together. They'll work fine. It's just you just set the DNS to be Pi-hole. I mean, nothing special about it. Yeah, Nginx, like I said, it's a solid reverse proxy. No problems with Nginx. There's nothing inherently problematic about it. Just which one do you want to configure? Any advice on how to set up Dyn DNS with Azure on Psense? DigitalOcean DNS is easy. API key. Can't figure out how to use Azure DNS. I've not used Azure DNS with Psense, so I don't know. Is there any major benefits using PF Blocker? You don't have to run a separate system. I mean, I could set a separate system up for the Pi-hole, or I can just run one system with PF Blocker and not have a separate system. Especially because if you're running Pi-hole on an actual Pi, well, that's kind of another challenge because a lot of Pis are out of stock too. So I'm fine with PF Blocker. I don't need any of those extended features in Pi-hole. If you do, awesome. It's great for you to use it then. Let's see. How can we bring this over? Let's see. Oh, okay. You have an 8 gig. You have an 8 gig Pi that I got a year ago. There's plenty of projects to do on a Pi too. So, do you ever set up failover 5G LTE? If so, what's your approach? You get a 5G LTE device and you plug it into the second WAN port of your Psense. Yeah, it's more efficient to run it into an LXC container. Not that a Raspberry Pi is really an not efficient choice. What has more Pi-hole than PF Blocker? I know there's a couple reporting features that are better in Pi-hole. I don't care about the reporting. People get excited about how many things they blocked. I'm kind of indifferent on it. So I'm positive it blocked things. There's always things to block. I use uBlock Origin as well. So there's lots of things being blocked. All right, back over to, actually, we'll go ahead and stop sharing here. So we don't need that anymore. Yeah, it's there's not a lot to setting up the failover. You just, and it depends on the device. There's a lot of different devices out there. I have no go-to device or recommended. I don't have any particular love for any device. You find whatever you can and whatever's reasonable, because obviously it's all got contract, and you throw in the send it up as a secondary WAN to be a connection. We use so few of them because we have 4 internet providers in the greater Detroit area here. So we most of the time have up to 3 choices at many of our clients that are local to us about different connectivity. So we just don't have to worry about cellular backup. We can almost always get an AT&T DSL backup line to things. Even we have Comcast lines backing up a lot of their commercial fiber. So it's not really that big of a deal. First thing to block is everything outbound, then open up what you need outbound, then use PF Blocker to do app blocks. It's a little bit more complicated than that. So let's see here. I've never tried the Netgate built-in SIM, so I can't really speak much to how well they work if they're a good solution for that. But I think, how would I do this? Actually, I would probably do it over here. That might make sense. Actually, no, it wouldn't. That wouldn't work. How congested your utility easements and right-of-ways that many communication providers? Oh, I don't know. Not the part I deal with. I know they fight with each other all the time. They all run right next to each other. So it's kind of fun figuring out there was a line down and it fell in our parking lot. Not a power, but one of the internet lines. There's 3 of them. Comcast and we have Comcast, AT&T, and Wide Open West all had lines. We had to figure out who to call because they all 3 run right next to each other. And luckily enough, at the time, one of my friends who worked for Wide Open West said, "Hey, that's one of ours. I'll call it in for you." He happened to come in and stop by my office. So yes, congested for sure. Are you using 80 login for authentication on your commercial installs? If so, local or hosted? If they have a server, it's local. If they don't, it's going to be hosted. So I guess it depends on the client. So yes, everyone uses Active Directory. If you work in IT, you work with Active Directory. So yes, we do use it. Recommendation of NAS software to run with hardware RAID. You do not run a NAS system, well, at least not a ZFS-based one with hardware RAID. So I have no recommendations because TrueNAS needs to talk to the hard drives because ZFS needs to talk to the hard drives. So I don't have any answers on that one. So if you have a hardware RAID, I don't know. Have you heard the new RAID Z expansion? I've heard it's been coming along for a long time. I mean, it's been coming along for pushing a year, maybe 2. I remember when it was announced, I tweeted it and everyone was excited, but it was so long ago, I can't even remember when I tweeted it. When using SSH Jumpbox Bastion server, is there a way to auto drop the connection to the Jumpbox when the SSH connection host is closed? I don't understand the question. If if you close the connection, it should drop. So maybe I'm not understanding what you're asking. I guess the answer to the question, TrueNAS can work fine. No, TrueNAS does not work well with hardware RAID. That's not a good idea. It'll be unpredictable behavior because it's not the design. It's not the way it was designed to work. Now, if you have RAID cards that support passing the drive-through, ITT mode or whatever you want to call it, it may vary by different models. And some of those cards can be reflashed to work as JBOD pass-through. Hardware RAID, isn't that just useful for Windows storage spaces? I don't think there's anything to make Windows storage spaces useful. It's not great. Wendell had a little rant about it on Level 1 Techs about the status of Windows storage spaces. It was kind of funny. And I say rant because it wasn't glaringly happiness over how well it works. It's actually not how it does work. So does Graylog have templates to analyze render security metrics? You can build dashboards and all kinds of functionality in Graylog for it. It doesn't have a lot of native just click here built in, but you can have it tied to external services. Like I think you could tie it to Graylog and Gray Noise and pull different things to create triggers and events for that. It can do notifications based on certain triggers. It doesn't have a whole lot of them, but there's a good community out there that can help build a lot of stuff inside of Graylog. Even storage spaces works better in pure software mode based on Windows Video. Yeah, works better, but still does not work great. It's still not ZFS. TrueNAS Scale will be released on 2/22/22 this month. So 12 days from now. I'm going to do some more testing, hopefully in the next week. I have a couple projects myself. One of those projects being the I got some new drive, WD black drive to install on my computer. So I'm reloading and rebuilding my computer. So as soon as I'm done doing that, I will be moving back over to TrueNAS Scale on my TrueNAS system. But I wanted to get my system reloaded. I wanted to run, I may as well go for, what model is this again? Someone's going to ask. The SN850 NVMe, NVMe black. This is the new drive for my computer. So once I get that in there, and I got to put this in, you got to treat these like the gold they are now, because people been, this stuff's hard to find. No, it's nothing incredible. It's nothing amazing. The fact that I have access to a video card, I didn't feel like spending a ton of money on a video card and just overpaying for it. I need something better for video editing. I'm switching my video editing to DaVinci, and I need a better video card to edit. I don't know what model is this. Let me look. I don't know video card. This is a 1060. The current card I have is a 760. So I feel like that's an upgrade. I don't know video cards. I just know that crypto people have made them expensive. So, and supply chain isn't helping. Recommendation to learn TrueNAS and pfSense. You're in luck. I have entire videos on both TrueNAS and pfSense. You're at the right channel. I have entire getting started videos with these things. So, yes. What else do we have in here? Hey, look, someone else said that too. Just watch Lawrence Systems videos. Absolutely. Yeah, Jay already moved. Me and Jay were going to move to DaVinci at the same time, and we were going to teach each other. Well, Jay from Learn Linux TV moved to DaVinci. Tom's not using DaVinci because my video card wouldn't run DaVinci. Wah wah. So Jay got it, and then I have a one. So I have a 1050. Don't really care either. Pushes pixels. That's more than enough for me. Yeah, I don't need anything really that amazing. I just need something that can work. Is Scale when they are dropping BSD and going to Linux? No, Scale is based on Linux. Core is based on BSD. That is going to be, I would say, at a minimum, the next 5 years of dual development. Maybe probably longer, very likely longer. It's just because it runs Linux, it's not a drop-in replacement. There's still things that, Core is the tried and true proven platform. So I don't really see them dropping the BSD one. Scale is a different product. There's a lot of people that still rely on Core. So it's not that they're dropping it. They're just going to manage both. Wouldn't Threadripper Quadro card help with video editing? I don't know. Can you recommend backup solution alternative to Veeam backup and perform application level restore, restore emails to a user inbox? Nope, I don't have one. Synology, but they don't do the application restore, so I can't think of one off the top of my head. Is having a large single screen better than multiple screens? Yes. I have actually two. I have the one big screen here, and then I have another. It's going to be a 25-inch one soon, but right now this is a 21-inch or 22-inch one that I have. It's just out of frame. But I think one big screen's awesome. Yep, it's on my to-do list to make some new videos. What's the 40-inch monitor you use? I have a AOC 49-inch. It's in the exact one is in the links of my studio build. So Acronis will do the application level restores. Interesting. Or I'm probably more specifically, they're asking about the email restores. Were you able to fix? Yes. Earlier in a video I mentioned it was a grounding issue. So that's what was causing that. I'm excited but I use Docker, a lot more Kate and K3s. I'm not sure if their implementation of cameras will be good for my use. Yeah, that's going to be with scale. They're using Docker, but yes, they're definitely doing it their way. I've seen someone mention that. I'm not a Docker person, so I don't know the differences in the way it was implemented in scale versus just plain old Docker. So it's going to be interesting. I plan to play around with it. Hey, thank you very much, Nathan, for complimenting the studio. I'm excited. The new studio does have me pretty excited. I do like this. Hey, look, there's that Synology video too over here. That's got to get published. Actually, it's right. Yep, that one. Oh, good. It says it's done rendering finally. So that video is the tutorial on how to get Synology notifications with the surveillance station. So that will be done really soon. We can put the chat back on there. Recommendations for learning Ceph. 45 Drives has the best Ceph, and Firewall D. I don't know who has tutorials on Firewall D, but 45 Drives have some good Ceph videos. Yes, sound deadening on the wall in here. That's one of the things you're looking at behind me. These are all like a felt tile to help deaden the sound. Then there's also an auto mute blanket. If you look at my studio tour, I kind of break down the different things I have in here for sound deadening. How do I use pfSense to understand my phone lost connectivity? Do the access point going bad, fail or bad? Packet capture, figure out what dropped and what connected. No easy answer there. What's your view of Facebook threatening to pull out of Europe? I don't care. I don't really advertise on Facebook. So I'm not worried about it. Like I use Facebook loosely. I use it kind of a once in a while thing. So it's not a big, it doesn't really change what goes on my day-to-day basis. It doesn't directly affect my business. And it's too big of a company. I think they will settle. If you want to know my opinion, I don't even know what it's about. I just know the headline says Facebook in Europe are arguing. I bet they settle because there's lots of people with lots of vested interest in money. So that's, I don't care whether they settle or not, though. I don't think I should care. I did a little testing last summer on scale, and you can bypass their method and use plain Docker. Oh, that's cool. I don't know what the long term, like, will that survive updates might be a question though, too. Gonna see if a lot of old motherboards can be used for sound dampening. I'm gonna go with probably not. So, but I'm not an expert on that. Acronis can do SQL, Exchange, M365, Gmail, and some more application aware backups and works well with Ninja One. Cool. Oh, that's right. Facebook's supposed to be Meta now or something. Yeah. There will be a great increase in productivity. You're right. If people get off Facebook. What's your take on telecom security of the providers of services? Like, do I think it's good? No, not at all. Probably not. Um, I guess it depends exactly which telecom, but I'm not. If you're talking about like the cell phone carriers, we've seen some things with them that make me think that they aren't doing things securely. It have to be more specific than that. Lots of things are in a bad state of security, though. I've seen a lot of YouTubers that say FB does not get them much more. Yes, no. Now I gotta admit, I throw my videos in the TrueNAS or Psense forums on Facebook. That actually does seem to help get a lot of views. So I mean, I would miss those views, but I don't think it would make that big of a difference. Like I don't. I get a decent amount of traffic because YouTube gives me an analytics, so there'll be like a few thousand hits, but that's not what the majority is. Like they'll make up sometimes 2% of the hits that came to the channel. So I guess I could face a 2% loss if those 2% were actually coming from non-US sources or wherever Facebook is fighting with. So I don't know. It's not something it's not something I have to think a lot about. Europe is laughing with its only 655 million people. Yeah, that's part of it too. Is does it make up enough of their market for to make sense to them? And it's the way the ad markets work because it comes down to how much the ad market is worth. I was looking at something to see if I had the lights turned on right. Is what the ad market is worth, not necessarily where it's at. And Europe has some buying power. So as long as those advertisers and there's some buying power in Europe, but then I don't know if that really equates into their advertising equation. Um, I don't know. Like I said, I'll read about it later after it's over and shrug my shoulders. Facebook share drop. Yeah. Those are already target audience, so they're a great place to get more exposure. Hey, from Australia, love your teaching vids and advice. Looks great. UDMP for routing, QNAS offline. So obviously take your advice. QNAP offline. There you go. You said QNAS. I'm assuming you mean QNAP. Oh, you missed the rack behind me. Yeah, I tried figuring out if I wanted to shift my studio that way further so I could put a rack behind me, but I just didn't want to put it there. I kind of said, I don't know. I'm going to do some on-site videos, and I'll still do some videos at my office from time to time. So the rack is still there, but for now, I decided it just didn't make a lot of sense to shove all that stuff behind me. It's also noisy. I wanted sound deadening and quiet in here. I don't use Caddy. Lots of people do. They seem to like it. I have no experience with it. Any future videos on Tensor? Not on my to-do list. Neat looking tool. I don't use it, so I haven't really taken the time to do videos on it. Nope, I have not done any testing with version 7 of that. It's kind of on something I want to do after I settle down all my other projects I have, maybe. So No hot sauce of the day. I didn't bring one down. I have more in my fridge. I got to go upstairs and bring them down. But I didn't do that today. Maybe next week. U6 Pro, the conflicting reviews on the U6 Pro access point are because reviewing Wi-Fi is, I don't know, it's a fool's errand. How's that? That's a good way to put it. We were doing some testing and we found different phones, different laptops, all gave us different results. So how do I equate that to a review if I can't get two devices that have similar specs to give me similar speeds? If two different phone models are both Wi-Fi 6, but one can and one cannot connect at the full speed, how do I do a review on that? The variations between running the same test over and over again, also lots of variations. I don't really see the point in testing Wi-Fi 6. If you need something fast, you hardline it. That's my answer, because anyone who, we've run into this before. We had someone who had a problem. They were complaining about the speed they were getting with a test. And as it turned out, their iPhone just did not like the access points they had. And they didn't like the Ubiquiti ones either. The older iPhone they had didn't like connecting at the alleged speed it was supposed to get. And then that speed can get broken down further when you deal with many people connecting. So I don't care much about the Wi-Fi for speed. Like I have a 10 gig connection on my computer. I would never go, oh, but Wi-Fi is close in speed if you get Wi-Fi 6 and connectivity. Yeah, as long as no other devices are on there. So I don't think they're bad devices, but I haven't had any problems with mine. Like the Wi-Fi 6 LR long range, it works great, but I don't use it for speed. Rack is iconic as the kitchen sink at LTT. Yeah. Maybe I'll build something that's like a cart with wheels that looks like a rack, and I'll roll it in behind me. Actually, I have a green screen. I could just put the rack behind me. I could just take a picture of my old office studio area, take a picture of it, and green screen it, and there we go. That would work. In my store at home, every major production device is hardwired, even laptops, employee workstations, cell phones are the only wireless on the network. Yeah. Yep. Why, when virtualizing TrueNAS pass-through, HBA not recommended, we still discourage that even for backup? Yes, I still discourage it because you can have some unpredicted behavior of it failing. And I've had people lose data on it, and they're like, Tom, help me recover this. I'm like, why'd you set it up this way for? Oh, so I don't know. And you can't recover it, by the way. Do you use on-prem UniFi Network Manager or just the UBNT Cloud? We have our own, at my office, our own rack of servers, and that's where we run our UBNT stuff. So we're running it all on our own servers, and their clients connect back to it. Live feed camera off the rack in the back of the office and have picture in picture. Yes, could do that. Can you add 10 gig network card to entry level rack NAS? Hold on. Something in my throat. There we go. Can you add 10 gig network card? Oh, still in my throat, whatever it is. Swallowed something wrong. All right, there we go. Nothing like doing it live. I cut all this out if I did this during a video. Can you add a 10 gig network card to the entry level rack NAS? Sure, probably. I don't know. I don't know which rack NAS you have that's entry level. You have to have a better, you'd have to have a better, tell me what model it is and whether or not they're in there. Yeah, that question choked me all up for sure. I don't have an open source MVR suggestion right now. I got no suggestions on that. Definitely another round of Jack. Oh yes, we'll call it Corona Tube. I don't know. Like something just like a tickle right there wouldn't go away. I drink water all day. I don't do the Jack Daniels tonight. Maybe we'll do secondary streams like, Night Jack with Jack Daniels and Tom do streaming. So you have a unified gateway, 3 switches. Should I be worried about upgrade anytime soon? I'm not big on the unified gateway, but if it fits your use case, keep using it. I don't know when end of life is for it, but if it's not end of life, keep using it as long as updates are still supported. Yes, a hairball from my Cat 6 shirt, which I'm not wearing today. I'm wearing this is one of Wendell's shirts that says teaching sand to think was a mistake. So Jack and Tom. Yes, Jack and Tom make for interesting streams, and my wife came and joined in. I think we did that Tuesday. My wife was like, "Hey, I'll come down here and hang out with you." Ooh, Bullet versus Jack. That's a tough one because I love Bullet Rye is really good. That's particularly the one I like. Speaking of 10 gigabit switches, which would you recommend as a silent but not burning hot RJ45 4-port plus switch, maybe Ubiquiti Switch Flex XG? Um, I haven't tested that one, but sure, that one should be fine. I haven't any problems with I should say I haven't reviewed it. I think we have a few clients that have them now, but we haven't done any reviews of them. So Daniel's system will be a networking mistake. Yeah, Jack Daniel's networking system. There we go. My router died. It turns all the ports on and one by one type thing. Oh, that's not good. Does hosting multiple UniFi controllers via HA proxy with a single static IP work for UniFi? I don't know. I've never tried. I've never tried to put HA proxy in front of the UniFi. I don't know what would happen. UniFi has their own certificates, so you would probably end up breaking things. Now, you can have the web interface push through HA proxy. I do that. That works fine. But you don't want to try to put HA proxy between all the other ports. I'm not saying it can't be done. I'm saying I don't know how to do it. I don't know why you'd want to do it either, because you're creating a problem that doesn't exist right now. When you look at the ports that you have to open up there, there's not really a certificate problem with any of them because UniFi has its own security that it uses for the encryption for the transport layer that goes over port 8080 and then the stun port. I forget what port that is. What's your personal threat model regarding application use? Do you stick to open source projects, use as few programs as possible, distribute your usage? There's a reason that this computer over here is separate even from the studio computer. I try to keep everything because there's so many applications for streaming or when I do web conferencing on my studio computer and it runs Windows. This computer runs business things and it does some editing because, well, it's all open source. I have to decide what I'm going to do with like DaVinci Resolve and things like that, but I'll probably just have separate boots for it. Because you can use DaVinci Resolve in Linux, but I keep all my security stuff pretty tight. And then I spin up virtual machines for anything I'm testing. And my gaming system is separate altogether because I don't play video games on my work computers. That doesn't crisscross over at all. Well, it kind of may. I mean, like I'll use the same monitor, but I don't think there's a threat problem with having this monitor fed from a separate, unrelated drive. So I think that hopefully makes sense. Yes, I have HA proxy videos. I have 3 of them on my channel right now. In a UniFi switch, can you use PoE port to connect one PC that doesn't need power? You don't power PCs over UniFi switches, so I don't understand the question. Blue Iris is interesting. I wouldn't use it because it runs Windows, but people seem to like it. I've seen some cool automation done with it, so if it's your thing to run Windows and run Blue Iris and build out all the automation, it looks like an interesting project. I have zero interest in doing it. I would never deploy it commercially. Matter of fact, anyone we've run into that's had it deployed commercially is always are calling us to get it replaced. We've taken more out than we've ever put in. People just told me it didn't work as well for them. I don't know if it's because they didn't know how to configure it. I know I don't know how to configure it. We ended up selling them usually a Synology system. I like that. Buffalo trace route. That's clever. Failover cluster for a print server. No, I have not. 10 gig networking is not the best solution with Psense, even with 2 is. I would go 10 gig, not 2.5. No, you can plug PoE into as long as the PoE is set to auto, you can plug PoE ports into a computer. For daytime use, Jack Daniels mixed with apple juice and Apple Jacks. Yes. And what this person, you can use PC with PoE cable, no risk. Specifically, though, oh, okay. Shout out from 956 Starbase area, Texas. Cool. Do you know when will Psense move from FreeBSD 13 or 14? I don't know. I don't really have an answer for that. Oh, yeah. Don't do day drinking and being on call. No, that's not good. Don't do that. Failover LT on Edger fine for my remote network. Desktop connected LT. I noticed that mobile network drop in packages, but not out. So internet work fine, but not RDP. Yeah, if your failover LTE doesn't also have a setting for inbound, and some of them don't. Some of the failover ones use carrier grade NAT. Depends on which one you use. So there's no way to get the inbound working. The solution would be, there's companies that make solutions that are SD-WAN style solutions, but they have a much higher recurring cost. So spend money is kind of the answer. No easy answer. Let's see what time is. Oh, 4:30. Cool. We'll go a little while longer. We're just waiting for my son, who will probably come down here when he's ready, because he's hungry and he wants to go get pizza. Because that's what my son likes to do after Vlog Thursdays. As many of you who are longtime watchers know, I start getting the messages about, Dad, it's time for pizza. Yes, let's do the smash the like button thing. So, yeah, this is going to be at a long delay to be able to see this, but there's 217 concurrent viewers, 217 now, and 68 likes. So let's watch that number go up. Lots of viewers, lots of people watching. Put it back over here. We'll give it a second for people to hit those like buttons. It is greatly appreciated. Nice having all the people hit the like buttons. There we go. Now it's moving up a little bit. 103. Woohoo! See, the inputs are what gets a little confusing because these loop through each other. I can actually add myself more than once to the stream now because I can actually. Well, I got to turn the volume down to make this work. I think you'll get double. I think if I did this, you get multiple ones of me and multiple sounds. There's like a delay and an echo probably. But then We can do this. Now there's more of me all the way around. Recursion, man. Go back over here. There we go. Mute one of them. Yeah, I got to set up the. I need to hit the mute to make that work better. Let's see here. Is this the Matrix? You could do some weird karaoke with that setup. Probably. It's kind of neat. So the studio I may have to like make a map for people that want to know how this. I've had a couple people ask me just how my studio set up, and it's off. It's kind of off for my channel, so I might just make a write up in my forum where I can just answer the question. But essentially, there's a camera over here, which is this one. So this is when you see me on this, and I can actually make it a little stranger. Let's go ahead and how do I grab that? Oh, I have to go over to OBS to grab that. But I can use this Sony camera that I'm pointing at right now, and it also feeds. This is my screen. So that is my monitor, but it's not connected. It's looped through. So there's the in and out of the capture card. So it goes out of my computer into a capture card, into that capture card, then feeds the studio computer. Then it goes back out as one of my monitors. That's how I'm able to share and use everything from my computer, but they're separated. They're only connected via HDMI cable. People ask about, threat models and things like that. That's how I don't have to run any insecure software where all my streaming stuff and all the other things is over there. Especially because I used to have more people using my computer. Jay used to use the streaming computer for things. So, monitor. So, what games? I have a PS5. The Jay was asking me that the other day because I still play. I just finished Horizon Zero Dawn on a PC. I like The Witcher. I like Borderlands. I don't play that many games. The ones I play, I'll play a lot of hours. I really liked what game was that one? The Division. I played The Division 2. Both of those were great games. I don't play a lot of PC games, but when I do, sit down, relax for a little while, play some games. I like to have it all nice and set up on there. But I've thought about just becoming a console peasant, as my staff would call it, because they're all PC gamers. Everyone in my office, with the exception of me, is a PC gamer. I'm like a very casual, and my son's a PC gamer. He even plays with some of the people at my office. But yeah, I just don't get a lot into the games. It's not my thing. So why don't you use NDI protocol for video? I don't know. Don't have a real reason to. Isn't that a different connector altogether? I think I'd have to do a bunch of conversions on it. Right now, everything's HDMI. And I think the NDI capture cards are more money too. I don't know. It sounds cool, but it becomes more work. Right now, most capture cards are HDMI. So I have, Elgato, AverMedia, your basic run-of-the-mill capture cards, and my cameras, both of them, have HDMI out, and my monitor's HDMI. So for me to introduce NDI in between only means more complexity, not less. I'm not a video person. I don't want to be a video person. I want to know enough about video so I can create tutorials on networking and storage and everything else. So I don't want to add any more complexity to my life. Yeah, to send video feature one PC to another, but it's not as simple as that, because now I have to load more software and things like that on computers that I don't want to load. So that's where some of the problems on there. You reviewed some TP-Link. Why did you think they're bad products? They don't seem to have the best support when it comes to firmware and updates. So I thought they were, mediocre at best. Well, it'd be fun to watch Lawrence overclock liquid cool firewalls just for extra speed and iPerf tests. Yeah. Except mostly they'd end up crashing, and I don't think it would do much. TP link hit or miss. Yeah. That's a good way to describe it. They're not wonderful. They're kind of a hit or miss on some of these things. That is the challenge with them. Any thoughts on NVIDIA networking? I don't know. I never played with NVIDIA networking. Water-cooled firewall. Go all out, water-cooled a rack. Yes. No TP for the link. Yeah. Nope. Yep, still going. Actually, do we have some likes? Oh, good. We got 131 of them now. So all the way up there. 132. People keep clicking on it. Yay. I think it's about pizza time, though. Can't believe my son hasn't suggested it's pizza time. Cool your data. Yeah, cool the data center with Halon, then water. There's some risk. You got to go like the old Cray supercomputers, the ones that are soaked in oil. So that's an option too. Let's go ahead and actually, I'm going to remove this. And we'll talk briefly about the Synology. So we've at least covered Synology a little bit, right? No, or no one cares. I can't pick up pizza on my way home. We're going out for pizza today. So you're right. Had pizza for lunch, not ham, pineapple this time. Ham and pineapple are good on pizza. So is anchovies. I like anchovies too. Yeah, most of the problem is the network interfaces being the bottleneck more so than the routing functionality of the device. Share some Synology. We can share some Synology. So we want to share. This is the last thing I'll talk about, then I'm going to wander off. Oil dip rack make changing cables interesting. What do you mean, no pineapple? All right, here's the recording. Say, look, there's a recording going on out here. Detected. Who? Oh, this is probably me. There's someone here. Ah, someone's stealing a bicycle pump. There he is. This is my son-in-law, by the way. Oops. The sound is coming through for this. I think you guys can probably hear it too. And fast forward. So for those wondering what how these cameras are, these are some good 4K cameras I have. This is what my review is of this particular Amcrest camera. And there he goes. And now we know who stole the bicycle pump. Now, that's actually my pump, so I don't know where he's going with it. I probably got a text on my phone where he said, I'm going to come borrow the pump. So that's kind of funny. Close that. So yeah, catch it in 4K. Good afternoon. I had to switch jobs just after change. Finally managed to get some more UniFi gear. Stick with UDM Pro for now. PF Sense later. Awesome. Yeah, there's no two-way voice on these. Catch the thief. Guess who was on my front porch? That's at 14:30.
Whoa.
Oh,
Nice.
I got to see the guy drop something. That's funny. That's unexpectedly funny. Hopefully does that sound come through for you guys too? That's pretty epic.
Whoa.
Looks like the box opened up.
Nice.
I'm not gonna lie, that's funny. That's impromptu entertainment here. Let's catch the other angle. So the other angle is going to be the driveway. See what happened here.
Whoa.
So if my wife asks what happened to the package, he's a really nice FedEx guy. He delivers. I know him, so maybe we get too many things when you know the FedEx guy. Yeah, that box opened up. He wasn't throwing it. Completely not his fault. I hope it wasn't fragile either. Yeah, drop facts. Contents tried to escape. That is funny. Yeah. I'd use my doorbell video with Amazon because their drivers tossed very fragile packages and it broke. Yeah. There's some of them that are good or bad. Most things get delivered to my office because there's more people at my office, and we have cameras all at the office too, so we can see when they come by. But yeah, that was some impromptu funny stuff there. I was mostly just watching the squirrels come by, but that's funny that the FedEx guy. But this is the Synology, the new one, the Synology Surveillance Station 9. I've been testing it. It works really well. I haven't had any problems with it at all. Yeah, loose packaging. Do you record surveillance video all in high resolution, only when motion is detected and then record it in high? No, you set it up to trigger record. So it's not continuously recording, it's trigger recording. It's recording based on events. That event can be motion, that event can be human detection. And it always records 4K for those events. So the cameras are 4K, then it records 4K, but it's not continuous recording. It's purging all the time because I don't need continuous recording. That way you can just do it based on events. I'm going to do a pretty video pretty soon. Yeah, the Surveillance Station 9 is pretty good so far, but warning, Travis, you may have noticed already, but if you switch to Surveillance Station 9, it's in beta right now. That I know of, you can't roll back. I think you have to reload the Synology to get it to go back. There's not a back button that I've seen. So once you move to 9, you're on 9. Synology sent me a NAS and sent me one of your videos as an example. That's funny. I like that. So yes, Synology can use H.265 for compression. The problem is a lot of browsers can't play back H.265, including Chrome. So you end up using different software, the surveillance software, to do it. So I might do a video on the details of using H.265. It's possible to use it. It's just more difficult to use. Same thing with DSM-7. Luckily, I have final say when people can access things here. So yes, child. Pizza time? I don't know, whenever you want. I'm on the live stream now. I told them you were going to ask me for pizza. Here, I'll put you on the live stream.
Wait, are you I'm downstairs.
I'm downstairs live streaming.
Oh, I didn't even know you came back.
If you want to say hi to everyone before we go get pizza, that's fine too. So I was getting ready to wind it down.
I'm in the middle of a game, so if you could like extend the time of the live stream.
Oh, my son said I have to extend the live stream because he's playing a game.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, text me when you're done.
Here, wait. Let me open YouTube.
Oh. You're going to join YouTube? Someone says, will the SS9 take advantage of a gaming video card? Not to my knowledge, but I could be wrong. There may be a feature I don't know about. People are wondering what kind of pizza you want, Marcus. Oh, they want to know what game you're playing now, too.
No, I'm playing Valorant.
Marcus is playing Valorant, so.
Also, the pizza that I'm getting is a square pizza with bold pepperoni, the good kind, and with basil on it.
Yeah.
Oh, and Asiago and Parmesan.
Asiago, Parmesan, basil. We do Detroit pizza here with Buddy's Pizza. Best pizza. Well, one of the best. We're going to make some determinations which one's the best. Me and Marcus are going to go explore some pizza places. But today we're going to Buddy's. So.
Yes, James, I am very enthusiastic.
He's playing a game, so he's trying to, speak and play the game at the same time. So let me know when you know the game because I really want a pizza.
Okay.
I'm hungry. All right. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. Love you.
Love you too. All right, there we go. What's about H265 with service? I don't know, but I could probably Google it, but I'm not going to. I'll do some videos on it and talk about it, but I'm not going to dive into it right now. So gaming pizza at the same time is better. Yeah. You're from Italy. Pizza will win. We'll have to go to Italy and find out, I guess. Yes, I do. I love all my audience. I say that. I'm still loving the fact that we have this, the FedEx guy. What's this one here?
Whoa.
That's classically funny. Maybe we're going to eat. What's this video? Oh, that's me leaving. And then this is probably me leaving too. Yep. I had to go to the office to pick up my packages. Look at that shady guy. These cameras are pretty good. I'm not unhappy with these Amcrest cameras. These are the ones I have the review that I'm uploading. So. Yep. All right. Any other questions before I wind this down? So. Yeah, the mic on the camera is pretty good. Tom, someone said it was Tom taking my truck. Yeah, I do have to clean the driveway. You're not wrong. It's all slowly melting. Shady guy taking a truck. Yep. One of the cooler things you can do with these cameras too, though, is the time lapses. Are you ready for pizza now?
Stop flaunting your camera system.
Stop flaunting the camera system?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get some pizza then.
Okay, well, I'm in a game.
How long?
I don't know. I just started it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
When are you doing more business vids? The business vids are going to be on a new channel that'll launch probably next week. We've got the logos and everything done for it, so that's going to happen soon. Vim all the way. Vim. I mean, Nano. I haven't used it in forever. I've used it maybe a couple times in my life, but pretty much Vim for life. So, matter of fact, we'll switch. Hold on, let's switch cameras real quick. Oh, you can't see it on that one. It's too small to see, but the this Vim is, I have it on there so it faces this camera over here when I'm on there. In case anyone says Vim, I just slide down the mic. That's the mic attached to my computer for stuff. So, all right. Got to get a pizza without him. See how quick he gets out of the game. Yeah, pretty much. Well, he'll just tell me to bring it back. He'll just like bring back a pizza. So I'm going to go ask him if that's what he wants to do. Is I want to eat now. I have no idea if the HP microservers are good for TrueNAS. I haven't touched an HP microserver in a long time. So I don't have any. It may be wonderful. It may not be, but I have no opinion on it. Probably too broad a question, but is 8 gig RAM enough for TrueNAS Core installed with only 2 4TB hard drives? I actually have a 40 gig system. 40 gigs, I think, wait. Yeah, 40 TB. I don't know. I have a system that has only 8 gigs of RAM with a lot. You can get away with it. Father would unplug the internet and go eat. Fortunately, there he was no internet in his youth, so just the TV cable. Yeah. Oh, you heard that? That's funny. All right. Well, I'm going to wander off here. Thanks you, everyone, for joining. And I was going to do something here. Either way, I have things I do have to get done. I have a video card to install. I have this fancy-dancy Western Digital Black to reload my computer with and get that configured and get DaVinci Resolve up and running and all those other fun things. So thanks, everyone, for joining. Great chatting with all you as always. This was absolutely a lot of fun. Look for that Synology video. I'll have it uploaded soon-ish today sometimes. It's actually uploaded. I just got to fancy up a thumbnail for it and do a quick proof to make sure I didn't goof it all up and throw the timestamps in it. But that will be done, and that's a more in-depth review of how these cameras are set up in the Synology, what settings I use to get the alerts working. And now I really want to re-edit it and include the FedEx guy because that was funny. But I guess, hey, you guys get to see the FedEx guy. So there we go. All right. Thanks, everyone. And see you. I'm going to do some more streams in between. But if not, definitely Thursday, but probably at least 1 or 2 more streams in between. I mean, I'm kind of excited working from home where I can just kind of go live and sometimes go live in the evening with some Jack Daniels. And maybe I'll go live on Saturday with some Jack Daniels. I don't know. Figuring it out. All right. Thanks, everyone.